Caitlin Clark, sidelined for her 16th straight game with a groin injury, wasn't dressed for action, but her presence towered over everything. Nike had chosen this night to launch her new signature double C logo, and the reveal turned Gainbridge into something more akin to a festival than a regular season matchup. The moment fans walked through the doors, they were handed shirts adorned with Clark's mark, and within minutes, the arena transformed into a sea of white tees glowing with her initials. The logo lit up massive digital displays inside and outside the building, projected across the skyline like a beacon. It felt less like a basketball game and more like an unveiling, a citywide celebration of a superstar who wasn't even lacing up her sneakers. Everywhere you looked, Caitlin Clark owned the building. Fans buzzed about the sleek design, praising its simplicity and symbolism. Some clutched merchandise as if it were rare treasure, snapping pictures before the first possession. One fan said it perfectly: it wasn't just a logo, it was an aura. And as the crowd roared during the pre-game introductions, with Clark's name still drawing the loudest cheers despite her absence, it became clear that the evening belonged to her even before a ball was tossed in the air. But beneath the celebration was a looming reality. The Fever weren't just without Clark. Sophie Cunningham, Chloe Beebe, Sydney Colson, and Aerie McDonald were also sidelined. 5 players in street clothes. This was a roster stretched to its breaking point, coming off a stretch where they had lost 4 of their last 5. Coach Stephanie White knew the stakes. She told her players before tip-off that this game had to be their most intentional 40 minutes of the season. Every possession mattered. No one had to be more than themselves, but every single player had to be the best version of themselves. Indiana wasn't just playing for a win, they were fighting for survival. The ball went up, and within seconds, the Fever made their intentions clear. Odyssey Sims tracked down the opening tip, slicing to the rim for an immediate layup. Kelsey Mitchell, Indiana's scoring engine, followed it with a deep 3 from the right corner. The shot splashed through the net and the arena erupted, not only because it gave the Fever an early lead, but because that basket made history. With that one stroke, Mitchell became the franchise's single-season scoring leader, passing the mark set by Caitlin Clark just a year earlier. The symbolism was unmistakable. On a night dominated by Clark's logo, it was Mitchell who took the first step toward rewriting the narrative on the court. Mitchell wasn't done. She controlled the tempo, darting off screens, slashing into seams, and putting constant pressure on Seattle's defense. By night's end, she had 21 points and the WNBA lead in 20-point games for the season. Seattle veteran Nneka Ogwumike admitted afterward that Mitchell was the head of the snake they couldn't contain. For a team missing its superstar, Mitchell's record-breaking night was a lifeline, a reminder that this team's future was built on more than one set of shoulders. But the Fever's story couldn't be told by Mitchell alone. In the paint, Aaliyah Boston made sure of it. From her very first touch, Boston played like she was sending a message. She bullied Seattle inside, using her strength and footwork to carve out space, finishing over and through defenders. Every possession she touched felt like a mismatch, every rebound an inevitability. She ended the night with 27 points and 11 rebounds, but her impact went beyond the box score. Boston became the youngest player in franchise history to grab 1,000 rebounds, and the second fastest player in league history to reach 1,000 boards and 350 assists, a feat matched only by Candace Parker. That put her in rare company, one of the few names capable of balancing dominance in the paint with the vision of a playmaker. Yet even those records weren't enough to define the night's toughness. That honor belonged to Lexi Hull. Just minutes into the first quarter, Hull and Seattle's Gabby Williams collided violently, their heads crashing together as they battled for a loose ball. The sound echoed through the arena, and when Hull staggered off with a swollen knot rising on her forehead, the building fell silent. With 5 teammates already unavailable, losing Hull felt like a breaking point, but less than 10 minutes later, she returned. The swelling was visible, but the grit was unmistakable. The crowd exploded as she checked back in, and her toughness seemed to galvanize the entire team. Hull dove for loose balls, fought for rebounds, and disrupted passing lanes, as if nothing had happened. Afterward, Boston called her the definition of tough, while White praised her as the embodiment of the team's grit. Hull herself laughed it off, joking that everyone told her she looked beautiful with the lump. That refusal to fold under pain sparked something larger. It became a symbol of the Fever's identity. The rest of the team followed suit. Odyssey Sims, the veteran addition, played like someone who refused to waste the opportunity. She poured in 22 points, including a jaw-dropping bank shot from nearly 35 feet that sent the arena into chaos. Beyond the points, Sims became the second fastest player in franchise history to record 50 points and 25 assists, trailing only Clark. Her presence in Clark's absence had been more than a stopgap. It had been a lifeline. Together, Sims, Boston, and Mitchell formed a three-headed monster that Seattle had no answer for. Clark has been out since June 15th, missing 16 straight games and 25 overall. Coach White has been cautious, emphasizing that Clark won't return until she proves she can handle full contact practices, sustain endurance, and play at playoff intensity without setbacks. She went through walkthroughs recently, but White stressed that conditioning under fatigue would be the final test. And the clock is ticking. The Fever sit at 2018, clinging to the 6th seed with only 6 games left. Every matchup matters, from winnable games against struggling opponents to dangerous clashes with contenders. The truth is, Clark's return isn't just about adding a player, it's about transforming the entire dynamic. Last season, she set the Fever's single-season scoring record as a rookie, stretching defenses with her limitless range and opening space for Boston inside. Now, with Mitchell elevating her game to franchise record levels, Boston anchoring to the paint, Sims providing veteran stability, and Hull embodying toughness, the Fever are more balanced than ever. Add Clark's shooting, vision, and leadership to this mix, and you have the foundation of a contender that no one wants to face. In the playoffs, the Seattle game wasn't just a victory. It was proof that Indiana's ceiling stretches far beyond one player. They showed they can dominate without Clark, and in doing so, built the confidence that they can become something greater when she returns. 6 records in one night proved they're already writing history. With Clark back on the floor, the Fever could be writing the future of the league. As the players celebrated in the locker room, Coach White praised the performance as their most complete game in months. She pointed to the 22 assists on 36 field goals, the free throws made, the toughness shown on every possession. It was a total team effort, the kind of win that defines a season. And yet, it felt like only the beginning. For the Fever, this wasn't just about surviving August. It was about building an identity that could carry into September and October. Toughness, depth, and resilience defined the night, and with Clark's return on the horizon, the question isn't whether they can compete.